Are you tired of yo-yo dieting? Have you tried every diet, but it never seems to last? Hi, I'm Cora Naylor, Emotion Code practitioner. And I just have a question for you. What if it wasn't the diet? What if it was the emotions that you have around food? A lot of emotions. Food is a very emotional topic. A lot of us have all kinds of associations with food that are very emotional that start back from our childhood. So what if you could get rid of those emotions, release those? Maybe that would help to put you more in control of your food rather than your food controlling you. If that sounds familiar, let me know. And if you're here watching, I would love to hear from you. Comment in below with where you're coming in from, and I'll shout out to you, say hello. A lot of us have different emotions around food that cause us to maybe have to feel like we need to clean our plate, or we eat when we're bored. We're just mindless eating. We're already picking up the next forkful of food before we've even finished chewing what's in our mouth. All those kind of things will have emotions associated with them. So one of the things that we can do to help release those emotions is we can use a process called the emotion code. And that's just a way to release trapped emotions. And it's good for all kinds of things. Oh, hey, Bree, thanks for joining. Could be things like food cravings, anxieties, chronic pains, fears, all kinds of things the emotion code is good for. Tonight, I'm going to be asking in a couple minutes for some volunteers who want to release a food craving. So that's also a common thing. Could be anything, potato chips, donuts, cookies, cheesies, anything that is kind of a junk food. And all of these things have emotions wrapped around them. Just as an example, recently I helped a client to delete her craving for Milk Duds. She just could not walk into a store without buying a box of Milk Duds. She just has, and she has some other eating issues as well, which we were working on, but that was a big one for her. So we released the emotions around the Milk Duds. Now she has no problems walking into a store and walking right past the Milk Duds, doesn't feel a craving for them, doesn't even care about them anymore. It's like there's no deprivation. She just doesn't even care about them at all anymore. So if you're wondering a little bit, you're new to the emotion code, you've never heard of it. It was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He wrote a book called The Emotion Code. So if you do want to learn some more about it, I highly recommend getting the book. It tells you how to do it, and you can use it for yourself on there. That's one of the nice things about this process, is that you can use it for other people, but you can also use it for yourself. And you would do that by using the emotion code chart. And that's this chart here, which I will hold up. You can't really see all the emotions on there, but there are 60 negative emotions that are on there. Hey, Dawn, nice to see you. And I'll go through a process in order to find out which of those emotions are trapped for you, and then we'll release them. And the nice thing is we don't have to be in person to do it. In fact, I work with most of my clients either by video call, phone call, or we can even do it by email. And just in case you're wondering, how many emotions do you think you have trapped? The average adult has about 200 or 300 trapped emotions. And these are just balls of energy. They get trapped in your body. Every time you go through a particular event in your life, if you don't process those emotions, they just get trapped in your body. Sometimes they can cause aches and pains. Sometimes you don't really notice anything's happening with them until you, again, later in life, go through do something, and all of a sudden you find out you can't. You just have some kind of a block. Often we can release emotions for that if it's for starting a new project, or maybe you have like a writer's block, something like that. And the way we find these emotions is by using muscle testing. Muscle testing is a way for me to connect with your subconscious. It's not any kind of crazy thing. Anybody can learn how to do this. You don't have to be any kind of special intuitive or anything. Something anyone can learn. And there's lots of different methods of muscle testing. You can go on YouTube and check them out. I use a sort of a ring method. So I just put these two fingers together, grab them in a loop. And when I ask yes and no answer questions, then when it's a yes, it sticks. And when it's a no, they just slide right through. But in order for me to do that from a distance for you, I need to be your proxy. And that just means that I can then do the work on myself, just as if I was doing it on you. And in order to do that, though, first, what do I need? I need your permission. I can't just go around doing the emotion code to people without their permission, although it would be kind of fun, but that's just not, the way it works. So first I get your permission, and from there I can do the work on you. If you had kids and you wanted me to work on your kids, I would get the permission from the parents. And on animals, I would also get the permission from the owners. And once we get started, I will find the severity of your issue on a scale to 1 to 10. And I can ask your subconscious what that is, or you can tell me and see if we matches up with your subconscious. And I'll use again the muscle testing for doing that one. And like I said, there's all kinds of things that we can use the emotion code for: aches and pains, fears, bad habits. If you're not sure, you're interested in knowing more about it, I do have a whole list or a menu of, I have different kinds of things that we can use the emotion code for. And once we do find the emotions on that chart, we then release them using a magnet. And it doesn't have to be any special kind of magnet. I actually use this emotion code chart, which also happens to be a magnet, which you put on your fridge. And the process for doing it is swipe 3 times over the governing meridian, which goes from the bridge of your nose down the back of your spine. And it just releases that energy, just as if you were, releasing the magnetic strip on the back of your credit card. Simple, just like that. And it's like I just swipe it 3 times for the regular ones. And sometimes we inherit emotions from other people. So I'd have to go about 10 times for an inherited one. And before we get started, I would make sure I'm hydrated. That just helps the energy to flow a little better. And it also helps if the person I'm doing it with is hydrated as well. So I'm just going to have a drink of water. So I'm just curious, I'm just going to check online here if there's anybody that's around and would like to have a demonstration I can do for you. And we can release a food craving right on the spot. I'm just going to check on one more spot while we're waiting. And while we're waiting for someone to come on, I am just going to let you know, we'll be doing the deleting specific foods today and next Wednesday. And then starting in June, we're going to move on to heart walls. And heart walls are really common just for improving relationships over time. Every time we have a relationship and we don't process the emotions on there, we build up a wall of emotions around our heart, and it can cause us to have issues with any kind of relationship. Sometimes it's even with yourself, with the world in general. Could be with your spouse, with your kids, and you can have a heart wall with individuals. So it could be someone that you work with, someone, relatives, whatever. So we'll be removing heart walls in June. Now, I don't see anybody on here requesting any food cravings, so I think we're going to just cut her short for tonight, guys. And just before we go, though, I just want to let you know, if summer's coming up, and it's a good time to get prepared. We have, a lot of times people think they're going to lose weight over the summer, but we also have a lot more temptations over the summer. We've got all these barbecues coming up, all those goodies, the junk food that's sitting out. And wouldn't it be great if you could bypass some of that and not feel obligated to eat everything that you see? So I am going to be starting my weight loss program on June 4th. If you want to join us, we're going to be working on all kinds of things with more food cravings taken off, with boredom eating, mindless eating, exercising more, eating more fruits and vegetables, wasting time. Wasting time is a big one. If you're sitting around watching too much Netflix, maybe you're not getting out doing as much exercising as you want. So if that's something you're interested in, just comment below with a yes, and I'll get some more information out for you. Okay, so in the meantime, everybody, have a great evening, and I will be here again next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining.